Next comes my favorite parts of the book, which is really the energetics and the assessment. So the first part with assessment is more the interview process. In the back, she's got all these incredible chapters on, for example, constitutional body type. So she goes into assessing Vata, Pitta, and Kapha from Ayurvedic Tridosha, to the 4 humoral temperaments of Galenic medicine: sanguine, choleric, phlegmatic, and which ones did I say? Sanguine, melancholic, phlegmatic, and choleric. So she goes into that, coupled with tissue states, right? The 6 tissue states that, Matthew Wood kind of not revamped, but kind of took the physiomedicalist understanding of tissue states and united them with some other models and way of describing them. That's a very useful system. I use that system too. Very, very good. So she goes into kind of the fundamental energetic patterns that you need to learn how to assess in people. And then the rest is super deep dive on how do you actually do that, right? So there's a chapter on the tone of the voice. What do you listen for? What is the sound of the Vata voice versus the Pitta voice versus the Kapha voice? Looking at color. What is the meaning of different colors? When you're examining a body, you see lots of different colors, right? You're looking at the skin, you're looking at the eyes, you're looking at the sclera of the eyes, you're looking at the nail beds, you're looking at the tongue. Perhaps you're looking at expectorated material. If someone's coughing up phlegm or whatever, you're potentially talking about the color and nature of someone's urine or their feces. Color carries great meaning for holistic assessment and evaluation. So she really goes into what the meaning of those different colors are. Fascinating stuff. Next is one of my favorite areas, and I'll maybe see if 395. Yeah, so this is her sections on organ and body correspondences. Organ and body correspondences. So she goes through the primary organs of the body and talks about their relationship to the various diagnostic methods that you use. So, for example, if you're assessing the small intestine, where do you look on the face? Where do you feel in the pulse? Where do you look in, say, the eye or the fingernails? What do you look at on the tongue? And in the back of the book, there's these absolutely awesome cheat sheets. These are so cool. So I'm not sure if the camera will be able to capture these or not. Hopefully it will. Maybe hide my face, as I think it's trying to show my face. But what you have here is this is the lung. So she's saying, okay, on the tongue, look for these patterns. Here's the tongue area on either side, kind of the front third on the left and right center. You want to look for kind of bubbles running along the edge. I think that's what those called, or maybe that's raised papillae. You're looking at circulation on the index finger. If you see these blue areas on the index, poor circulation, which is going to relate to respiration. Butt pimples. Lungs need movement, too sedentary. Foot pain, butt pimples. Dry on this kind of underside part of the tongue. So she's got all these things to look at, and the nails on the face. The cheeks are sunken, yellow around mouth and chin, environmental toxicity or hypothyroid. Where there might be areas on the body where there's tension or tightness, right? So that's her lung cheat sheet. So these are really cool because it shows where you find the testimonies in the body for certain organ systems. I lost my, there we go. So this is such good stuff, right? Then she goes into the different examinations. examining the face. This is the one area that Margi's work that I think is really fascinating. I do use this, though I'm not nearly as good at it as she is. Examining the face. So the different areas of the body are corresponded to different areas of the face. So they say, for example, the heart is in the nose. The whole jawline and chin is like the pelvic floor. The stomach is around the lips. The small and large intestine are the lines on the forehead. Right here is the liver. Gallbladder is over here. So there's all the different areas of the face correlate to different organs of the body. And so what you're looking for oftentimes there would be lines, like facial lines. You can also look at coloration, dryness or oiliness, things of that nature. Examining the ears, examining the eyes. And she goes into all kinds of detail here. The eyebrows, the color of the sclera, the pupils, below the eyelid, right? These areas under the eyelid, looking at all these different aspects of the eyes, the nose, the teeth, the mouth, the lips, the chin. And then, of course, she goes into her tongue assessment. And this is really cool. She's got her... the tongue chart that she says was from William Lassassier's tongue diagram, which is one of her, she says, one of her main teachers. Probably not going to be able to see that very well, but it's a very involved tongue diagram. It is much more specific than any other tongue diagram that I've seen. Very, very useful. And what I like about these whole areas is that they all have pictures. Right? So it's these charts, and these charts will say, okay, we're on mouth and lips. Okay, so there's what happens when just the lower lip is chapped. What if they're holding the mouth open all the time? A dark outline surrounding the lips. Inside lips is blue. Inside lips is red. What happens when the corners turn down? You've seen that, where the corners turn down. What happens when it's drooping, right? It's just all these specific things, but it's in these charts with the description, with the picture, and what that means. So really, really cool. Very, very specific method of assessment and diagnostics. Of course, we don't really say diagnostics too much. It's best to just get in the habit of saying assessment or evaluation. Fingernails, hands, assessing elimination, feces, urine, the pulse positions. This book is 500 pages, 500 plus pages long, and incredible. Unlike any other herb book that's on my shelf. And I've got a lot of herb books, old herb books, new herb books, obscure herb books, popular herb books. This is one of a kind book.